the first graders, second graders, third graders, or 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade if you're in America. Each class has 40 students, and of course there's a first grade class of 40, second grade, third grade, all in one kumi, they call it, or the course, which each course studies their own set of classes besides the regular classes, but everybody studies English and math and science. So you will teach the ichikumi, nikumi, sankumi, first, second, third, which is electricity, mechanics, and civil engineering. So each class of 40 students will be split in half. So typically you'll have about 20 students in your class. Besides the typical English class, which all the students study, there are electives. You'll maybe have 2 of them. They're called C1 and C2, which is Shogyo Eigo, which means commercial English, but usually the students are studying to take the Aiken English test. And that's the goal of the class, is to pass the next level of that, wherever the students are at. So these ones are typically smaller classes because they're an elective, and this year I had 6 in one and 9 in the other. So they're really a fun class because you can do a little more of the fun things. The students are interested in English. The class you'll be teaching most with all the Sannensei, all the third graders, and all the second graders, is called Communication English. And typically, because the classes are split in half, each week they have 2 or 3 classes, but you will see each half class once a week. So typically in third grade, in Communication English, there will be 2 books. There will be your book, that is all about communication and conversations, and there'll be another book that the JTE will use for grammar. So the 2-book system is really nice because you can decide what you're going to do in your classes within the book, where you are, what lessons you want to use, what chapters you want to use, and the JTEs work from their book. But in Ninensei, in second grade, you will use the same book. There's a lot of things in the book, typically in second grade. So the JTE will work some pages and they'll want you to work some of the other pages. So you'll have to communicate a lot more with your JTE in second grade to know where they're at and what part they want you to do in each week. But each week you should have the same lesson for all the classes, the Sannensei classes and the Ninensei classes. In third grade you'll do the same lesson for each of your 5 or 6 classes, and in second grade you will also do the same lesson for each of your 5 classes. In each of my classes I start with a question, and each week it's a different question, just simple, really simple questions. Like, I think the first one is usually, what sport do you like? Because it gets the students thinking in English, they have to figure out the question and then their answer, and we kind of do it together as a whole class, and then the students do it in pairs, make a partner, find a partner, and ask the question, answer the question, ask the question, answer the question. And finally, I ask some of the couples to do it in front of the whole class. And so we use this paper for that because it has a space for each week, once a week, and the students just write the question and their answer. And then we can use these questions later as kind of an interview test if we want to, and the students will have all the questions right there. And the other thing we use is a name tag. So this is the blank name tag, and I'll put this in the file for you. But the students write their name, and then this is the stamp sheet, because we use stamps as an incentive program, I guess, but the stamps are worth points. The JTE and I got together and we set this up to be that each semester a certain number of points in the student's overall grade belongs to these stamps. And it's not like a stamp gets a point. It depends on how many stamps on average the students are getting. So if the students has an average number of stamps, they get the full points, 5 points or whatever it is. And if they only have one stamp, they only get 1 point or whatever. But this is what the stamps look like. And I'll leave you a couple, but they're available at any stationery store around Japan. And they're just little, they have all kinds of things. This one's a butterfly. This one's a hedgehog. But you can find one that you like or use the ones I leave you. And they're just a simple ink stamp, 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 stamp. So that when the students answer a question in class or do something in front of everyone in class, they get a stamp. And typically the JTE will go around giving the stamps, and I'll be running the class, asking the questions, calling on students. And that's a good way we've found to get in student participation. This is the box that I store stuff in, and I keep all the chat sheets and name tags in here. And you can see I keep a name of the grade, second grade, kumi, second kumi, and the teacher's name because of the half classes. Each half has a different teacher. And this is the chat sheet where you see the students have written their question and answers. And these are just this is the name cards. You can see this is a third grade class, but you can also see the stamps there. First semester, second semester, third semester. And this is third grade, Sannensei. So in the third semester, the Sannensei only have like 1 or 2 classes. And so we kind of did something different than the stamps in third semester. These are, you can see, popsicle sticks. And so I have the students have written their names and their student numbers on the popsicle sticks for each class. I have all of the regular classes in here, not the electives. But you can see I have third grade on this side and second grade on this side, and I have it divided up into the teachers of each half class. So this is third grade Ichikumi, or electricity, third grade Nikumi, mechanics, and third grade Sankumi is civil engineering, but their class is so small, there's only 20 students in it anyway, so we don't split that class in half. But in class, I use this little box of random chance. So for whatever class I'm going to, I take their sticks into the classroom, and then in class, when I have a question or we're doing something, whatever we're doing, I can pull the name out and say, okay, whoever this is, Yuki, please answer the question, or please stand up, or please do whatever we're doing. And then when they're finished, I can put it in this side so I don't pull people twice, and I can pull everyone randomly with the sticks in the box. This I started using this year, and it has been fantastic, like way better than I ever thought it could be, because the students are all involved. They have to do whatever we're doing. It's just random. They just accept it. It's great. This is the box that I take to my actual classes. And it has everything I need. Textbook, the name cards and papers for that class. I toss in my thing in here when I'm ready to go. It has my chalk. This is my chalk box. And you can get chalk. Everybody gets chalk right over there. But chalk box stamp for this semester. This semester's stamp is a cupcake. Any little papers, these are cards for a story game that we played. Any worksheets, I just toss it all in here and we go.